Good morning, grade 9. How are you today? Today we will continue our reading text, page 97. We discussed A and C, and now inshallah we are going to discuss B. But before we move to B, here I wrote for you some questions about paragraph A and paragraph C. Let's just look at these questions and try to answer them based on the paragraph. If you remember, when we talked about paragraph A, we said that there is a sculpture and it's a crack, and this crack is found on the ground or on the surface of the exhibition or the fair in the London Museum or the London Gallery. So let's read the question. Does the crack exist in the gallery? Does it exist? Is it real? Yes, it is. It is 152 meter long. It is 152 meter long, and with the evidence that it does exist, 3 women have been hurt by falling into it. 3 women have been hurt by falling into the crack. Number 2, what does the crack represent? What does the crack represent? There is an embodied image, or there is a message behind this crack, which is the crack represents the division of integrating immigrants into European society. We said that the immigrants, the travelers who travel from one place to another, face a problem or a division in integrating, in involving, in taking part in the European society. As if there is a crack. This is a crack, and here we have the European society, and here we have the traveler or the immigrants, المهاجرين. فبالتالي the travelers or the immigrants cannot be involved in the European society, as if there is a crack between the two parts of society. Okay, now in paragraph C, we talked about a woman. Her name is Elizabeth Gibson, and she basically came across a painting while she was walking in the street. Now let's look at this question. How did Elizabeth Gibson find the painting? How did she find it? She came across it. She found it by accident. She came across it, the painting, while she was walking in the street. While she was walking in the street, she found, or she came across, the painting. And it was the painting in a pile of rubbish, in a heap of rubbish. Number 2, was the painting valuable? Was it expensive? Was it important? Yes, it was. It was sold for $1 million. It was sold for $1 million, and we said that the original owner of the painting, kept it in their house, and then the painting was stolen and thrown in the street. Okay. Now, let's move to paragraph P. In this paragraph, we are going to talk about small sculptures or small paintings. And those paintings are painted on small objects. And basically the painters or the sculptors use also small equipments in order to draw or in order to paint these paintings and portrait. So we call this kind of art micro painting. Micro means small or tiny. Small painting. All right. Chinese artist Ring Ying Hai was just finished a painting, the biggest he has ever done. Nothing too surprising, perhaps, for a professional artist, but you may be surprised to learn that what is so special about the painting? It is on a single human hair and is only 6 millimeters long. يعني طولها فقط 6 millimeters long. And where does he draw it? He draws it on a single human hair. Can you imagine? This painting is drawn on a hair. It's very small, it's very tiny. It's a portrait of 42 US presidents. What does it represent? What does it talk about? It displays or it talks about 42 presidents, 42 US presidents or kings. Each president's face has a diameter of less than 0.4. يعني the picture or the face of the president is very, very small and tiny. Once the artist took 10 days to paint a giant panda on a tiny part of another human hair. هاي كانت أول portrait. Now the next portrait is about what? It's about a panda. And where does he draw it? On a tiny, small part of a human hair. So we have two paintings, one for US presidents and the other for a panda, and both of them are drawn on human hair. Even more amazing is Sorry, where did we stop? Okay, he used a paint brush. هلا هون we are going to be introduced to the tools or the equipments that this painter use in order to paint the portrait. What does he use? He used a paintbrush made of what? Made with a single rabbit hair. A rabbit hair. This type of painting is called micro painting. What does he use? He used a paintbrush, and this paintbrush is made of rabbit hair. One rabbit hair. كتير كان فاضي هذا الارتست. Even more amazing is micro sculpture. مش بس عنا micro paintings or micro portrait, في عنا كمان micro sculpture. Willard Wigan is probably the world's best micro sculptor. Sculptor is the person who actually creates or who makes sculptures. He once told an interviewer that the slightest movement caused by traffic outside could affect his work. يعني لازم his work to be concentrated. Nothing should actually affect his work. Either the traffic outside or the movement of traffic outside can actually affect his work. So he has to focus. He said he had to control, and he also has to control what? His breathing and heartbeat. تخيلوا قديش إنه he has to control the breathing and heartbeat to keep the movement of his hands to a minimum. Now, obviously, mistakes are easy to make when you are sculpting grains of rice or sand. Once he accidentally inhaled one of his sculptures. One accident happened when he actually inhaled. Inhaled means to take oxygen inside your lungs. When you inhale, okay, you take oxygen inside your lungs. He actually inhaled one of his sculptures. It goes inside his nose. Can you imagine? The good thing is that you don't need a big gallery for micro art. This is actually a blessing. You don't need a big gallery. Why? Because all the sculptures and the portrait are very, very tiny and small. But a microscope is essential. You need a microscope in order to make these sculptures bigger for you. So I hope this text is clear for you. Now the homework for today is to do exercise 5, the same page. Exercise 5, this one, page 97. What do you have to do in this exercise? You need to find the meaning of those words: deep, bottomless, incidents, indirect, single, slightest, bile, valuable, and write me the meanings of these words in your notebook. And if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you so much.